I think that concludes our math assessment, and now we're just going to go on to a math journey. So let me give you guys a little bit of a backstory. My son has level 3 autism. I call it level 2-3 because we're starting to see a lot more behavior subside as his communication comes in. So anyway, in a nutshell, we have been homeschooling. I've been homeschooling for a total of now going into 7 years. And my son officially entered the school system when he was in preschool in the public school district and then transitional kindergarten in the charter school. So he is now in 4th grade, and we have been working for years on addition and the last maybe 2 or 3 years in subtraction, and something is still not clicking. So with those two things not clicking, we can't really move forward until we figure out what the issue is. So we have decided to use this book, Jump Math K.1, as a way to kind of like take a fine-tooth comb and figure out, what things are we missing in math that makes addition and subtraction so hard. I think I might be pretty good at patterns because I have noticed that this is following a pattern here. Unless this is a coincidence, this thing is going in order as in the same fashion that this book is. So we're starting with counting and cardinality. That's a lot of, just can you count from 0 to 100? Can you compare numbers greater and fewer, more or less, things like that, right? And we come to the part of more or less, and we're noticing now, we're like, okay, we have found something. This might make sense of why addition and subtraction might be so stinking hard for this kid, because we really need to hone in the more less skills. But it's kind of complicated because he kind of gets it, but he kind of doesn't. So I'm going to show you in the book what I'm talking about. Okay, this is how the book is introducing more or less. So he has to color the sun for the group that has more. So we showed him a demonstration in the gray box, and then in the white boxes, he was able to do this mostly without help, but he still needed some prompting, like point to it first. And then we gave him the crayon to mark the answer, because sometimes he would choose the wrong set. And then it's funny because it gave him a quick break from that. And it's like, okay, connect these dots. And I'm like, what's the method to the madness? And then we had to go on the computer and print out some doors so that he could glue on the doors, because there's no appendix for you to be able to, appendix pages so that you can cut out the doors. So we found some doors to glue on. And then this one was drawing a line to match the mitten with the hand. Still same concept. And I'm like, where is this going? And then we get to this part where it's like, okay, 3 and 3 are equal. So we're going to connect those dots. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm sort of following. Now, I admit jump math is not new to me, but we did skip a lot of this stuff and went straight to addition in the books. And I shouldn't have done that. I should have followed it with fidelity, and I didn't. So that's my bad. And now we're fixing it. Okay, now let's move on to more or less because it started. Okay, this is where it gets tricky. You see those little smiley faces? So he's supposed to look at the dots, circle the number of dots in each row, and then use a smiley face if it's the same number, and then use a sad face if it's a different number. And that was pretty confusing. I mean, wouldn't you agree? Wouldn't this be kind of confusing to you? It was to me. Again, more with the matching, but now this time it's saying, okay, so which sun do we circle? Which group has more? That was a little like, I don't know. It wasn't working for Kai. Then we did it again, and the tutor was like, okay, let me write the numbers and see if you can tell the difference this time. Let me do the dot markers. Can you tell me more or less? Was still very difficult to do. And we come up to numbers with a nice little number line up here, and it was still pretty confusing. And then over here, it was very confusing for him. When we just circled the numbers, he would get these incorrect. But then when we circled the visuals, he would get it correct. So we were like, okay, something's got to give. This isn't working. And this is where I come in and make worksheets, because stuff like this happens in curriculum and we go, this isn't working. What do I do? So we made a cut and paste activity where I did, and we did, we numbered them 1 through 4, 1, 2, cut out more or less. He knew how to label this more and less. So this was very clear for him. And then we would have him write 4 is more than 2, 2 is less than 4. And then after that, I was like, hey, can you give him a Post-it and see if he can figure it out? And so we would do a Post-it. I don't know where she put it, but she would write down which is more, 4 and 2, circle the one that's more, and he would circle the 4. So he does understand it, but the way that the book is presenting it is different. So we came up with a couple of designs, and because my kid loves Where the Wild Things Are, this is what we came up with for tomorrow's study. So taking in what I saw in Jump Math and then creating it into something that makes more sense for Kai. This is what we came up with. So you can see here at the top, there's 4 monsters. He'll have to circle 4. There's 5 monsters, and he'll have to circle 5. My kid is a big Where the Wild Things Are fan. So anyway, and then at the bottom it says which is more. And then he has to fill in the circle of the one that is more. My hope, and the tutor's hope, is that by doing this, it becomes a transferable skill to do this. Method to our madness, right? And that is modifying in a nutshell when things just aren't working for you. You got to think outside the box. And that's why my Teachers Pay Teacher Store exists, because there's a lot of thinking outside of the box. All right, that's it. I'm on to history with my middle schooler. Bye.